Hey everybody, here is another video about making training look more like reality. On this search, this is another search where I'm deploying my dog near a roadway. In this case, we are in an industrial park, and I have to go out and look for potentially two locations where either a firearm or shell casings could be located by my dog. This is a blind search to me. The odors, targets that were put out 13 hours ahead of the time I came out to search this. So basically, these items were placed in the search area the night before. I, quote unquote, responded to the scene in the morning and then deployed my dog to go look for what could be out in this area that I was told would have potential shell casings or a firearm. This area is also heavily populated by homeless, so there's a lot of real distracting odors in here. There's things from trash to human feces and urination, along with normal animal feces and urination, and just regular trash. On top of that, there's cars going by us at pretty good pace in this area as well, which is going to disrupt the odor and how it is moving in this space, which we'll see later on. I sped things up here on this part of the search because this entire search is 15 minutes long, but in a second here I'm going to show you from the body camera what was going on at this spot, which is just him investigating things. There's no indication whatsoever. Okay, right in this area, he starts bracketing a little bit back and forth. And then he pulls pretty good right in here. And then at this point, I'll start seeing him going into his alert behavior. Tail starts changing, and then it will go stiff, and then I mark and reward him.
Reef! Good boy! Good boy! That's a good boy!
Okay, after I rewarded him, I redeploy him a little bit further down from the previous hide, but not far enough because he drags me right back to it right there. I just mark him, tell him good, and continue on. So we will continue on with the search here, trying to get to the areas I haven't had the opportunity to put him into yet. And I notice he kind of keeps casting around within this sign area. His behavior is pretty active. He keeps cycling back to the sign itself, working left and right within this space. I don't know for sure. Is he just picking up the previous location based on the wind direction? In most cases, as you can see here, he kind of is wanting to go back to the previous hide location. So I got to keep casting him around, getting him to work, but work this other area despite still being able to smell the shell casings that I found in that other area, which was 3 shell casings. So because the search is so long, I have sped it up in this segment right here. But as you can see, he really, really likes this area next to the sign. And I spend a lot of time in this area trying to go around each bush and eliminate these areas that have shell casings. Now in this area, as I go wider to the street corner, I am not seeing very much as far as his behavior goes. So we go back to this area again, and we are doing our best to work out where potentially could there be additional shell casings that have fallen within these bushes, because that's my assumption right now. So I'm literally trying to get him around every bush, hoping to find the shell casing, or shell casings, because I don't know how many. And at various points in time, there was a person who was concerned about where my vehicle was. So Florian comes up to talk to me, telling me about that. And then I am working him some more. You'll see coming up while I'm still working, the guy drives by one more time to talk to us again. So when you hear those little high-pitched chipmunk sounds of me talking, that's basically me talking to the guy. That little dig spot right there was just him kind of digging. I think it was just another animal attraction kind of area, but I got to let him check these things out. I don't know. Did a shell casing fall under a piece of dirt or mulch or something? And I got to let him sniff it for a second. Sometimes dogs need to disturb the area, and dogs naturally, if I don't know anything, may dig at something and to disrupt the odor so they can smell it better. So you got to pick your battles as to, do I correct, not correct certain types of behaviors during a search? Okay, it turns out the area I'm in right now will be the location later on that we do find the additional shell casings. But the way the air is moving and how we're kind of working it, we're not catching it. He is, as you can see, casting around quite a bit. He just can't locate it based on these conditions. So at this point, we've been searching for a solid 15 minutes. I'm going to call the search at the moment and then give him a break for another 10-15 minutes, and then we'll search again, but come from a different angle, and we'll show that coming up.
Good boy. Come on.
Okay, so here he pulls me right back to that very first find, alerts again.
Good boy.
This time I mark him, and I go ahead and pay him again.
Whatever it is, he either can't get to it or can't smell it. Okay, ready?
Okay, after a solid 15 or more minute break, I redeploy him, but come at the search area from now the parking lot side, not the street side. I changed the direction because I wanted to see if we work from another point of view to the area he keeps showing me the most interest. Hopefully I'll find it. At this stage right here, though, he's just kind of distracted by the little things on the ground. I can tell he's not really working, so I try to get him back focused. But again, you have to pick battles, and as long as he's searching and he's doing mostly what I want, despite being distracted by some ground sense and some animal or human sense on the ground, I gotta decide. Right there, I kind of tell him, okay, let's get back to work. Nothing too crazy, but he's a little tired. This is only his fourth scenario-based search, so I've got to, again, balance out how much do I care about him being distracted, and at the same time reading him. How do I know, again, a shell casing didn't fall under a piece of mulch a certain way and he's trying to work it out? So in this case, I'm staying pretty calm in my search demeanor. I'm not asking for too much. I'm not directing too much. I'm letting him work. So as you'll see coming up, the bush I'm standing right in front of is the location of where the odor or the target shell casings ended up landing. So Ammo's doing a pretty good job of telling me there's something here. He cut back pretty good there. But again, it's been out in this region for 13 hours. So the odor keeps blowing against that really thorny rose bush right there to my right. He's just having a hard time because air isn't moving through the bushes really well from where the shell casings are at. And with 13 hours of collection towards the bushes right there, he keeps pulling back to that side. So I got to let him work it out. Again, I don't know the answer, but I can read him. I can see there's something here. It's a little distracted with Florian there for a second. I just redeploy him, get him back over here. And now we're going to work deeper to the area again. I'm going to try to come at it from another angle, but he's breaking back on his own into these big bushes. So I'm saying to myself, okay, it's got to be in here somewhere. I got to let him work it out. Again, he's collecting the edges, or I would say probably the fringes of odor, and he's trying his best to get to where the source would be, but he's got to figure this out. I don't know the answer, but I can read him. I can tell something in this area, so I kind of encourage him to get back through there, but maybe I need to go deeper. I can't tell completely, but I'm reading him, and I can tell something's here. So we're going to work forward, going to go a little bit further away. And now I can see he's casting his head up. Right there. His nose is going straight up in the air. So I'm like, okay, he's definitely smelling something. He's got to work it out. So I'm going to let him do exactly that and work through this problem.
Good boy. Good boy.
Okay, we're back at this bush again. I can see him pushing through yet another time. So I want to get around to the other side of this bush. And when he does, he's going to indicate, but his indication isn't going to be as rigid as it normally is. But because I'm pretty confident, I mark and reward him. And it turns out he was right. Good job, Ammo.
Good boy. There you go. Woo.